Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eat, Play, Heal. Today, we are going to talk to someone really, really special to me because he inspires me in so many ways. He is a television host, environmentalist, WWF National Ambassador, and World Vision Ambassador, and one of Asia's most visible and prominent personalities on television. How exciting is this? Let's all welcome Mr. Marc Nelson. Hello, Marc.
Hi, Carla. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here on Eat, Play, Heal. I really appreciate the invite.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor to interview you. Where are you right now? Because I don't see you in the Philippines at the moment.
That's right. I'm currently in Baja, California Sur, on the west coast of Mexico. I've been here off and on for the past 4 months.
Is it because of the pandemic and you need to have a holiday, or what are you up to there?
Well, partly. I actually came over to this side of the world to visit my girlfriend in Puerto Rico. During the lockdown, we didn't see each other for 9 months. And since the Philippines is still closed, the only way we're going to see each other is if I flew to see her. So I braved the peak of the pandemic to travel 40 hours to get to Puerto Rico and see her. So we spent about 2.5 months together in Puerto Rico, and then came to Mexico, since I was on this side of the world, to visit some friends over here, and loved it. What was supposed to be a month in Mexico ended up being 2, 3, 4, and probably a few more. I've been very, very fortunate. I've fallen in love with this place. I am coming back to the Philippines. Philippines is still home, hanging around here and just learning new skills.
Wow. I'm sure that you're enjoying nature over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking
Absolutely.
of the environment, we just recently celebrated World Environment Day and also the World Ocean Day. How'd you celebrate yours?
Well, I'm by the ocean, so it was awesome. I got up, I enjoyed a beautiful sunrise by the beach, and the place that I'm staying in is actually it's overlooking the water, so I'm around the ocean every day. And actually, the day before, just timing was a little bit off, but it was the day before here, but I think it was actually World Oceans Day in the Philippines at the time. Went out into water and went free diving with sea lions, and just had a wonderful day.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. We've seen a lot of your travels on Instagram, and if you guys want to see his stories, it's amazing. He's sharing a lot of content over there it's like vicariously experiencing it through Marc. It's amazing. I love it. Now, speaking about the environment, our planet's health and people's health are well linked, definitely.
Yes.
So what can we do to transform our mindset and our daily routine in light of the pandemic?
Well, I think what a lot of people may not realize about the pandemic is that it is very closely tied to the environment. To get a little bit technical, the COVID-19 coronavirus is a zoonotic virus, which means it came from animals. It's transferred from animals. Now, in a lot of animals, it can be relatively benign. They may have certain antibodies and everything to deal with it, so it doesn't affect them quite as badly. But when they are transferred to other species, such as humans, we don't have those antibodies, those natural defenses, and that's why it causes such debilitating effects on us. And the reason these get transferred is because we're experiencing much closer contact with wild animals. Now, this is due to deforestation, loss of habitat, and sometimes environmental factors that cause people, they need to go to the wild in order to get sustenance. So they eat what is called bushmeat, which is wild animal meat. And all of this brings us in closer and closer contact with these wild animals. Not only that, but also wild animals are forced closer together. So they're still researching it, but the theory is that it might have come from bats, but then it might have transferred to pangolins, and then it might have transferred to humans. The very fact that that different species are coming into contact, not just humans, every time it transfers, it mutates, and it's these mutations that that then get transferred to humans. So if we take better care of the environment, we repopulate the wild places with the wild animals, we have less contact with them, then we are a lot less likely to fall victim to these zoonotic diseases.
Message to everyone as a WWF ambassador.
Well, we at WWF do our very best to try and educate the population. Just like any kind of brand or company, the best way of doing that is via social media these days. Everyone, not as many people are watching TV or reading the paper or listening to the radio or getting their information from there as much as they used to, but everyone is scrolling on their phones. And so we are trying to get that message out through our posts, and then also whenever we do interviews or we have events, and just try and bring that to light. And I think that the more that people are interested, and I think more and more people are becoming interested, then the more they delve into it and the more they find out. But a lot of the stuff we already know. I mean, we know that overusing our resources is detrimental to everyone concerned, most especially us. Because if we're using up all the planet's resources, the ones that are going to get most affected in the long term is going to be humans. Yeah,
exactly. So how do we begin to do this? I know that sustainability is very important in any actions that we do. So what for you is sustainable lifestyle?
Well, sustainability by definition is something that you can continue to do for a long period of time without, in the same manner, without it being detrimental. It's like, imagine it like a bank account. Okay, so if you are only spending the interest each year, then that's sustainable because you're only spending the interest, you're not dipping into your capital. Once you start dipping into your capital, then all of a sudden it's not sustainable anymore because each year it's going to go down further and further and further, and eventually you're going to have nothing left. So the same thing is how we treat the planet. The planet is our bank. The planet is our savings account. So yes, we can live sustainably by only taking what we can, what can grow back, what can regenerate. So
right.
Sustainable forestry. Yes, it is. It's a thing. If you can grow trees at the same pace in which you use them, then that is sustainable forestry. But if you're cutting down trees and they're not growing back as fast as you're cutting them down, that is therefore unsustainable. So the sustainable lifestyle is basically using what you can afford to use and not cause too much damage to the planet.
Many want to make healthy choices, just like me, healthy and conscious choices. But I don't know where to begin, to be honest. I'm asking you honestly and sincerely.
Yeah.
How do we begin? Can you share some tips?
On healthy choices?
Healthy and conscious choices with the environment and, with the world we're living in. So
yeah,
we got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big ones is obviously try and lower your carbon footprint. So the best way to do that is to source locally. So source local, your local foods. I mean, every now and again, you want to have, those imported, fruits or meats or something, and that's okay. But just don't make it your regular thing, because those things are traveling from a long way and they're creating a large carbon footprint. That's number one. Number two, obviously, the usual stuff. Try and avoid as much plastic packaging as possible. Sadly, in the Philippines, I know that we have this terrible habit of wanting to wrap all these beautiful fruits that have just come off the trees and everything in plastic, which is a shame. But and that stuff lasts forever, and that causes untold damage to the environment and to us. I mean, we're eating the equivalent of a credit card of plastic per week per person globally. That's or a coat hanger per month. It's in the microplastics are found in the creatures as small as krill, like they're at the very bottom of the food chain in the ocean, and so all the way up. You eat fish, well, you're eating plastic, but sadly, that's the same for a lot of meat products as well. Another thing is obviously cut down on your meat product. I'm very much a carnivore. I'm allergic to seafood. I can't eat fish, so I do eat
How
meat.
can you not like seafood? I
It's
love
not
seafood.
it's not a factor of not liking it. It's that it could possibly kill me.
Sorry.
I have an allergic reaction. No, that's okay. I have an allergic reaction to it. So, with the exception of oysters, mussels, and clams, I can't eat any seafood. But
considering you're from Australia.
Yes, I'm from Australia. I love being in the ocean and all of that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I can't. But so I do eat meat. I do eat, chicken. I do eat pork. I do eat lamb, turkey, and all of that sort of stuff. I try not to eat as much beef as I used to. So I do cut down, and I'll just maybe I might cook beef like once or twice a week instead of 5 or 6 days a week like I used to. So if you can cut down on that, then that's a big thing, because of course the cattle industry does a lot of damage to the environment via deforestry, via methane gases, which are actually even worse than carbon dioxide, plus the transportation and everything to get that to your plate. So all of these things contribute to that sort of thing. So
those are the things that we don't see at all. Those are the things in the back end. We just see them in the market and that's it. But we don't consider all these. So it's that conscious way of thinking as well. And
exactly.
All
so
right.
it all begins,
I get it.
It all begins with conscious shopping. If you buy consciously, then you will eat consciously.
Have you ever thought of growing vegetables in your garden?
I do grow vegetables in my garden. I have I have a tower garden. Do you know what a tower garden is?
That would be a tower.
Yeah, a tower garden is it's like a 44-gallon drum, and it has living soil in it. Together you put African nightcrawler worms in there. You feed it compost, and it regenerates the soil. It's its own little ecosystem, and it's got these little holes in the side where you plant your seedlings, and they grow, and you can grow whatever, lettuce, arugula, herbs, all sorts of stuff. And it's just a drum. So even if you live in a condo,
I've seen my mother outside. She has those. So those we call those tower gardens.
Yeah.
Get it. Okay. Yeah. Is there a way where we can learn how to make that?
Yes. There is. If you go to Instagram, there's a company called Down to Earth.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's Down to Earth or downtoearth.ph or something like that. But I got mine from them, and they have a wonderful initiative. I just saw it on Instagram today, as a matter of fact, where they are supplying heirloom seeds. So a lot of the agriculture nowadays have seeds when they grow plants. Either the plants don't grow seeds, or they are sterilized, so you can't grow a plant from that plant. But what Down to Earth is doing is they are giving out seeds to communities, and also selling seeds privately that are heirloom seeds that are basically pollinated seeds. So from one plant, you can actually collect seeds and grow more plants. The way nature is supposed to work. And
exactly.
So you can, from one little bag of seeds, you can potentially start an entire, small farm in your backyard. And it's people in groups like this that are doing things like this, especially now during the pandemic, when food security is such an important thing, that is enabling and encouraging people to be those plantitos and plantitas, but not just for the pretty stuff for your house, but also to supply your dining table.
Yeah, for nutrients, for nourishment, right? My
Exactly.
mom, you met her earlier.
Yes.
She has her own garden, right? So I didn't realize that the tower is a tower garden, but she also has her plants there, and the vegetables that she serves daily is fresh
Hmm.
from her garden. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, you cook.
Yes, I do.
Have you tried your plants, the ones that
Of
you have
course.
harvested? Okay, like
Absolutely.
what? Tell me.
Uh, Kangkong, the spinach. Oh, it's awesome. I love like spinach, just garlic spinach, just like quickly stir fried with garlic, a little bit of oil, maybe a touch of either soy or oyster salt, but sometimes it doesn't even need
Mm-hmm,
that, just a pinch of salt
mm-hmm.
and pepper. And yeah, that's an awesome side to any dish. I've also harvested salad greens, so lettuce, arugula, bok choy, yeah, and of course all the herbs and everything as well.
You have bok choy in your garden.
Yeah, yeah,
All those. Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
It just
Do you
all growing
mind
out of that same
sharing
tower
with us?
garden.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I'm gonna check on your Instagram again and find the tower garden. But so would you mind like maybe in the future sharing some of your recipes perhaps? And so we
yeah,
can see how we can create one, the
yeah.
dishes.
Well, actually, on my Instagram, on my stories highlights, I post my recipes,
Mm.
and they're sadly, I haven't been in the Philippines since October, so you're not going to find a lot that I've done
You
there.
did cook
But I've
today
been
though.
cooking. I did
You
cook.
did
How
cook
did you know I cooked
breakfast
today?
because I saw on your Instagram story.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the burrito.
The
Actually,
burrito.
yeah, I think I cooked that yesterday. Well, tonight I
Oh,
actually
yes.
cooked. Talking about beef and only cooking it once or twice a week. Tonight I cooked beef stroganoff, so I will be posting that on my stories right after I finish with you.
All
I
right.
just don't have time
Okay.
to do it before. But yeah, so I have a highlights reel of all my recipes. Well, not all of my recipes, but some of my recipes.
That's exciting though. I mean, I would love to know what you're eating because a lot of men cook, and it's very, very nice to and pleasing to know men who cook. So if you're going to share with us recipes in the future as well, that would be great. So keep them coming on
No
your
problem at
Instagram
all.
stories,
Be more than
highlights.
happy to.
So you are undoubtedly in tip-top shape. I tell you,
I
there's no
I
doubt.
try.
Oh, come
I
on.
try. I did go to the gym today.
Yes, of course you do, but do you still have healthy goals for yourself? I mean, what else is there?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, just, I mean, maintaining my physique,
Mhm.
maintaining my health, even more importantly. Um, and as, I move forward in years, obviously it's important to, look in shape because of the work that I do. I mean, my show is, I spend all of my show, basically without a shirt. That's the nature of
With
the
your
show.
travel
It's
show.
it's it's called
Hmm.
beached, so we're always at the beach.
Yes.
I'm always in board shorts. So in that regard, that's why I need to go to the gym. But apart from that, it's leading the healthy lifestyle. So I've been here during kiteboarding season over the last few months, and so I wasn't going to the gym at all. But what I was
For
doing
how
was
long?
I was kiteboarding almost every day. So
Okay.
that was my
You didn't
exercise,
need to. You didn't
and
need to. Hmm.
it was functional.
Hmm.
I lost a little bit of muscle mass, which I'm putting back on now, but stayed lean, stayed healthy, stayed fit. I was also doing yoga when my friend who's a yoga instructor was down here. So yeah, I felt extremely healthy. I was eating healthy, and by healthy, it doesn't necessarily mean cutting out too much of anything, but it's just doing intermittent fasting and eating home cooked food. So not like processed stuff, not fast food, not, a whole lot of junk food. It was just, yeah, eating well.
Yeah. I do love food, so I get what you mean. And I'm gonna try to cut down on many, many things, but not
Cut down on
necessarily.
sugar, number one. Sugar is
Why?
If you're going to cut anything out of your diet or cut down on anything, the number one thing you should be cutting down on is sugar. Sugar is it's a terrible thing, especially processed sugar. It is highly addictive. If they've done studies that show that the pleasure receptors in your brain are they are actually more you crave sugar more than you crave cocaine. Yeah, it's that addictive, and it's probably possibly even worse for you. Things like cancer cells need sugar to feed on, to grow. If you want to starve a cancer cell, if you want to try and help starve and shrink a cancer cell, then cut sugar out of your diet. So yeah, processed sugar is really bad, and there's so many hidden processed sugars. I mean, like you think, oh well, I'll just have some ketchup. Ketchup is packed full of sugars. All those healthy iced teas are packed with sugar.
Right.
All those sports
what are the
drinks are
alternatives
packed
then?
with sugar.
What's your suggestion for alternative?
Alternative to which one?
To
Water.
Sugar.
Water and fresh juice. I mean, fresh juice, it has sugar, but it's natural fructose. And yeah, when I say fresh, I mean like freshly squeezed, not something, you know, out of a bottle that is pumped full of sugar as well.
Right.
So just
Cordials
be very careful. Yeah, read the labels. I think one thing that I'd like to tell people is if you want to get a rude shock, but it's very important, read the label, read the ingredients. Ingredients are labeled in order of how much is in what you're eating or drinking. So if one of the first like 1, 2, or 3 ingredients is sugar, then you know that that is a primary ingredient and it's just packed full of sugar. I think a can of soda is, oh geez, how many? It's like, I think 10 teaspoons of sugar for a can of soft drink.
Teaspoons. 10.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. 10.
Okay. But I haven't had soda in a very long time, so that's all right. But you know what? 10 teaspoons is equivalent to, that's a lot. That's a lot for one can. All right. And, you know, this is part of conscious shopping. So we just got to read the labels as well. It depends on our goals and how we want to live our lives, right? So, but it is very important to read the labels. All right.
Yes, read the labels. And the greatest thing is there's 2 tips I have for you. Number 1, eat before you go grocery shopping. Don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach.
That's a good
number
one.
1. And number 2, and this is kind of related to number 1, avoid buying stuff that you know is bad for you, because if it's in your home, you will eat it. So if you don't buy it, then it won't be in your home and you won't eat it.
And you won't eat it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But which makes me think, what's your guilty pleasure with food?
Oh, I love crunchy stuff. So I love chips. I love French fries. I love pizza. I love fried food.
You do?
Those are my guilty pleasures. Oh yeah, absolutely. And
so how do you do to maintain your shape at the same time have it?
I just don't have it all the time. I'm relatively active. I lead a fairly healthy lifestyle. I normally eat fairly healthily. I don't eat a lot of junk food. So that every now and again, if someone says, oh, do you want to have pizza? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll have pizza. And also I avoid sugar. That's the big one. I love coffee, but I use stevia in my coffee. 90% of the time, I'm only drinking water, and the other 10% of the time, I might have juice, like fresh juice. But that's it. And just by cutting sugar out of my diet, I don't feel guilty about indulging in like a pizza or some French fries every now and again.
And how does it make you feel when you started cutting out sugar from your diet? Was there a difference? I
felt healthier. And and I didn't have I think the sugar rush and crash quite as much. So the energy was a more sustained energy. And honestly, I just felt better because I knew that it was much better for me.
All right. So would you say listening to our bodies as well is very important, right?
Yeah.
And how
Although
do you listen to yours? Is it the cravings?
Sometimes your body tells you to eat stuff that you know you shouldn't.
Exactly.
So it all comes down to discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's discipline in everything. So you know you need to make a commitment, and commitments are the same, whether it's a commitment to work, commitment to a relationship, or a commitment to a diet. And okay, I don't even want to call it a diet. I want to call it a lifestyle. So we all know that it's bad to break or cheat on our commitments, right? So treat the commitment to a healthy lifestyle the same way you would treat a commitment to a relationship. The relationship that you're having is with yourself. So when you cheat on that commitment, you're only cheating yourself. And sadly, you'll bear the brunt of it.
That is so true. That hit me on the spot. I mean, there are times when I just couldn't avoid it. And I wake up in the middle of the night, I try to munch on something, and then that's it. So no more shopping on things that I know wouldn't be good for me. Okay, that's the first step as well. Read labels. And there's so many takeaways from this interview, you know. So, which makes me think, from the time you wake up till the time you sleep, could you give us like a bit of a sneak peek on what you do on a healthy lifestyle basis?
Okay, well, I mean, every day is a little bit different, but I'll give you today as an example. So today I woke up early. I never thought I would be a morning person, but I do enjoy waking up early when I can. So this morning I actually made a point. I made it a point last night to sleep early because I wanted to wake up particularly early this morning. So I got up at around 5:30 to catch the sunrise. I do try and catch the sunrise most mornings nowadays, but I wanted to get like the early sunrise, and I'm so glad I did. The sunrise was spectacular. I went down to the beach. I enjoyed the sunrise. I did some meditation while I was down there. I came up. I had a cup of coffee, did some work on my phone, and then I went to the gym, worked out for a little bit, came back, had a nice healthy protein shake with the banana, some peanut butter, went and had a couple of burritos for breakfast, or a very late breakfast. I do intermittent fasting, so normally I don't eat until midday.
How many hours?
16 hours.
16 hours, okay.
Yeah, minimum 16, sometimes more.
Yeah.
Actually, quite often more. And the important thing that I think a lot of people miss about intermittent fasting, they're like, oh, but I don't know if I can keep that schedule, and that means I have to finish eating by 8. And no, you can finish eating whenever you want. Just count 16 hours from that. And that's the great flexibility about it, because if I have a late dinner with friends, I'm not going to say, oh guys, I got to stop eating now. I'll just eat and with them until we finish dessert or something at 10 p.m. and then I say, okay, 16 hours. I can't eat until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Easy. So anyway, yeah. So I ate that and then came back, did a little bit more work, visited some friends, cooked dinner, did groceries, didn't buy any junk food, had some fruit, cooked dinner, had dinner. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not a unusual day for me.
How about sleep? How's sleep? How important is sleep for you?
Extremely important. Extremely important. When I'm shooting my show, I know I can get by on like 4 hours sleep if I have to, but I know that it's not good for me. I try and get 6 to 8 hours sleep most nights. I am very happy if I get 8 hours sleep, but I can operate very efficiently and comfortably on 6. But like right now, I don't have a nine. I'm blessed that I don't have a regular 9 to 5 job. I know that it's very difficult for people that do have those jobs and that have to get up especially early to take their kids to school or to deal with traffic going to work and back from work. And I am very happy that I am not in that situation. But I do feel very bad for the people that are, because it makes it a lot more difficult for them to be able to squeeze in exercise, cooking, eating right, and of course getting enough sleep.
Self-care and self-awareness is so important. And I'm feeling the brunt of it right now because at my age, I'm starting late, but it's best to start somewhere and at some time. So I'm also being conscious about it. And I feel that how I define my day is how I sleep the night prior. So
well, one of the things that can really help people sleep is just getting in the right frame of mind and relaxed. And I used to suffer from or sometimes I still do suffer from something that I call monkey mind, which is your monkey mind is like, a monkey is like all over the place, right? And so your mind is all over the place. You're thinking of 1,000 things at once. It's like, and it's hard to like switch your brain off, so to speak. And when that happens when you're going to sleep, then you toss and you turn because you're always thinking, oh, I need to do that, or I need to call that person, or I must remember this, and what happens if this happens and I do that? And then all of a sudden it becomes very difficult to sleep, or if you do sleep, you have a very unsettled sleep, and that's no fun at all. No. So meditation helps a lot with that, and not looking at your devices like right before you go to sleep also helps with that. Having a routine that sets you into sleep mode is helpful. So whether it be, you have a cup of caffeine-free tea or something, if you sit down and, maybe you just read a book for a little while before you go to bed, just if you set a routine that basically reminds your body that, oh, okay, it's time to wind down and get into sleep mode, like half an hour before you actually go to sleep, then you'll find after you do that for a week or so, it becomes easier and easier.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm going to keep that in mind. Now, what is up next for Mr. Marc Nelson?
Well, in the immediate future, you're pretty much looking at it. I'm going to be sticking around here in Mexico for a little bit longer. I'm going to hang out here for the summer. I know that rainy season was just officially announced yesterday in the Philippines. It is officially the start of rainy season. And also I know that there's a vaccination drive ongoing, but there's still a lot of people that are not vaccinated, including my camera crew, and I would like to keep them safe before we start traveling around the country. I want to make sure that if we are working, then they're as safe as possible. I personally have been vaccinated, so I'm fine, but I just want to make sure everyone else is as well. So for the time being, I'll stick around here for a little bit longer, and then I'll come back and I'll shoot the new season of Beached. Take care of some of my advocacies when I come back.
And your kitties.
And my cats, who I miss very, 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 very much. It's been 7 months.
Do you want to give them a shout out?
Yes. Hello to all my cats. Hello to Nala, to Chloe, to Socks, to Tuca, and to Jiro. And my friends as well. And
of course, don't forget, please say hi to my cat, Hope, who you met.
Hello, yes. Hello, Hope. Nice to see you again, or nice to speak to you again.
As you noticed, we're both animal welfare advocates.
Yes.
And so it's like we are in sync with, animals, and we love animals. So with WWF, what are your experiences with animals there? What is the most, extraordinary thing that ever happened to you as an ambassador?
With WWF, the ambassadors, luckily, we get the opportunity to visit project sites every now and again. One of the most well-known project sites that we have is Don Sol with the whale sharks. And WWF has been so instrumental in changing the lives of the local people in Don Sol and putting together the whale shark tourism project there, which is a hugely successful ecotourism, sustainable way of uplifting the community. And it's a great example of working together with the environment and the community. And it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. A lot of people think that, oh, well, if you're protecting the environment, then what about the locals? You know, how are they going to make a living? How are they going to survive and all that? Well, Don Sol's a perfect example of how not only are they helpful to each other, but they can thrive together. Since whale shark tourism came in the late 90s, I think it was like 98 or 99,
Yes.
The Don Sol as a town has been uplifted several grades of town, and the locals have earned so much more money from tourism than they ever did from what they were doing before, which was basically subsistence fishing. And the more they investigate, you know, what else they can do to attract more tourists, what they've done is they've discovered that, well, I guess they've always been there. There are fireflies in the rivers, and as they were replanting mangrove areas along the river, because they know that's where the nutrients that, you know, flow out into the bay that feed the whale sharks come from. So they've been protecting the rivers more, and then more fireflies came, and then they realized, okay, well, this can also be a tourism source. So by protecting the mangroves and replanting and protecting the rivers, now all of a sudden they have a secondary source of tourism income. So they do firefly tours, which are fantastic. I've never seen any like so many fireflies anywhere else in the world as you'll find.
I've only heard about it in National Geographic, but I didn't realize that we have it in the Philippines as well.
Oh yeah, and it is absolutely spectacular. You really have to go. It's a tree is like lit up like a Christmas tree. It's glowing, it's pulsing. There's, you know, thousands, and the more that they learn, the more they teach the tourists as well.
What season would it be perfect to go and help out as well? Is there a way for us to help?
Honestly, the best way you can help out is just going and supporting their tourism. You can also go to wwf.org.ph and donate to help. I know that because of the pandemic and Don Sol, which is so heavily reliant on tourism, a lot of the guides and the boats and everyone are having a hard time. So we at WWF also try and help support them by, you know, doing food handouts and just basically helping the community that has done such an awesome job by, you know, introducing people from around the world to the beauty of the Budanding.
I would love to go there someday. I've never been.
You should. You absolutely should. Yeah.
So hopefully once the pandemic is over, hopefully, and everything's all right, then I'll be able to go, and maybe everyone else can come with me. And then maybe Marc Nelson will find him over there.
You never know. I do go to Don Sol quite regularly. I've been going there for over 20 years and been having, amazing experiences. I've taken all my friends, all my family at different times over the last 2 decades, and everyone, without fail, has absolutely loved it.
Well, before we end the interview, would you have a message to share with the men out there who are also celebrating Men's Health Week?
Yeah, guys, just make sure that you do take very, very good care of your health. You only have, well, one life, well, in this life at least, and it's just like the most precious of cars, okay? If someone gave you a Ferrari, you would want to take care of it. You would want it to last as long as possible. You'd want it to run as smoothly as possible. Well, that's your body. Treat it with the same care as you would that. make sure that it gets a checkup every now and again, make sure that everything is working, make sure it's running well. And by running well, you need to make sure that it has the right fuel, which is the right food. Don't eat too much junk. Take it out for a drive every now and again, exercise it. Yeah, the body is an incredible piece of machinery, but it only remains incredible if we take good care of it. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Marc Nelson. Truly, I'm so honored to have interviewed one of our top hosts in the Philippines and maybe in Asia. So thank you so much, Marc, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a wonderful time. And to all the people that are watching this, I hope you enjoyed it as well. And hopefully you've got a little something interesting to take away from it.
Let's have a chat sometime soon again. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you everyone for watching. Have a nice day.
Bye guys.